Right. Now, has this worked? Have we gone live? I'm not sure.
So will this be another one?
This will be another one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, here we go.
Are we there? Are we live?
We are live.
We are.
Yeah,
Right.
you see me in the background of me
there we
doing
are.
the whole
Yeah,
Bohemian Rhapsody thing.
that is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We have
we
one
might need
viewer.
to-
That does not bode well.
Well, and that's me.
Well,
Well, I'm viewing it too. How is that only one?
we are
I'd love to
here,
have a second.
so that is good.
Hopefully people will find it. Obviously, the link on Facebook is now leads to the wrong thingy, right?
It will do, unfortunately. Yeah, it's one of those things.
I
There's
can
not a lot I can do about
put
that.
the new link in and edit all the posts. It just might take me a moment.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying, but we are here. Now, I just had a power cut. So I'm just going to give it a minute for people to find the new stream. Hopefully they will. Just checking, has it got the right, it hasn't got a thumbnail. Let's give it a thumbnail, shall we? Where's my thumbnail gone? There it is. TNG review show. Ship in a bottle. Save. Let's apply that. Okay, so there you go. If you've managed to re-find the stream, unfortunately, we just had at Montalban HQ, we just had a power cut. So I've had to quickly rush about and and get everything back up and running again. Let's get a photo, background photos back up.
We're just glad that you made sure your shield's red.
No, Smiler Rainbow thinks I just went to a lot of effort to get out of eating any more chocolate. But I assured her that was not the case. That was not the case. We are all ready. Okay, I need my notes because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Right, here we go. Marvelous. Share.
We got Joel back.
Hey, Joe.
Oh. It's not just us then. That's good.
Joe's back. That's important. We've got a viewer, you know. That's the thing. Stuplum will never find the new link. So
How do we get to it?
I don't know. Oh, Ruth's back. Ruth, they're coming back. They're coming back.
Nice.
Hey, I don't know what happened. It just seemed we had a power cut. It tripped the fuses and knocked everything out. So yeah, but we're back up and running now. So can anybody remember where we are? G's back. G's back. He's found the new stream. I don't know if he was in the old stream, but he's found the new one, so that's good. Let's hope that doesn't happen on Friday during the Monty Zone.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So he just reactivated what's his face, Moriarty.
That's right, he did, didn't he? And Moriarty demanded that he wanted to see Picard, and Reg was like, "How do you know the captain?" And Barclay was a little bit perturbed about, hey, Wookiee's back. There we go, Wookiee. You found us. We're back. I had a power cut, Wookiee. That's what happened. Yeah, so he was a bit perturbed that he wonders how Moriarty, a holodeck character, could know about Captain Picard. And Moriarty goes on to explain that what happened in Elementary My Dear Data, and how he became self-aware because the computer was told to create a character capable of beating Data rather than Sherlock Holmes. And Moriarty tells him that the condition of him releasing his hostage was that Picard would agree to do something concerning freeing him from the holodeck prison that he finds himself. The only thing that Reg heard in that statement was something about a hostage, and he's like, hostage? What's that about? But then Moriarty wants to know how long he's been there, and Reg has a look at the computer, and he says about 4 years. Moriarty says it seems longer, and Reg is disbelief that how could he experience time whilst being held in memory. So Moriarty laments that Picard just left him to go quietly mad inside the computer, but Barclay assures him the captain wouldn't have forgotten him, but he agrees to arrange a meeting and stores him back in memory again. But as Reg leaves the holodeck, Moriarty reappears with a smile on his face. And that's the final end of the teaser. Dun, 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 dun.
Where's your
Not only is it one of the
Oh.
longest acts, it took us the longest period of time to get through it.
Yeah, it's question time. And I will sit and quietly...
And chili time.
I'll sit here and... Do you know, my stomach's already in knots from the first one.
Yikes.
Here we go.
Okay.
If Monty-Ban has to run off to the loo at some point, we'll just vamp in the meantime.
Go on. Say your
Ready?
question.
Yeah, so first question. Where did Broccoli suspect the problem was? A. Biofilters. B. Spatial orientation systems. C. Matrix diodes. Or D. Safety protocols. And the bonus is, what item did Data throw to prove that the murderer was left-handed?
Oh.
I can't remember. What was it? Was it?
Oh.
I don't know, maybe a.
Oh.
You don't have. Do you have any whipped cream?
I don't have any...
What?
I don't have any whipped cream.
Yeah, a glass of milk might help. They say
I-
like something about fat kind of breaks down the chemicals in chili.
Yeah, well,
Lining up
there's
your
already
stomach
fat in the
too.
chocolate.
I think it's sweetness. Sweetness is supposed to help as well, isn't it? According to Gordon
Well, it helps
Ramsay.
burn in your mouth, but the stomach is what the cream is for.
What you need is a nice vanilla milkshake.
It's all right.
Well,
I've got wine. It's fine.
well,
Nice.
what you need is just to smack one on Smiler, and she'll appreciate you for it as you share the pain.
I'm getting a nice rosy complexion now.
Your Santa is coming in.
Yeah. Anything else from this act from the teaser, Mouse? Apart from it being uber long.
So in that first scene, they freeze program. Whenever you're going to freeze program, you probably don't want a roaring fire in the background because you're never going to be able to freeze that. We mentioned about Reg being added to the story. When he goes to track down the problem, the holodeck doors automatically open for him, which would kind of be normal for any other doors. But normally when people go to the holodeck, they walk up to the little panel, don't they? And they go, blah, 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 program, what's it? And then they go in. So it seems a bit odd that they opened automatically. Also, as Reg is down at the panel there, you can kind of see like the yellow lines. It's like yellow tape, and you can kind of see how it sort of curls up. At the
It all
edges.
wrinkles up at the edges, like they've just whacked the
Yeah.
carpet down and they haven't smoothed it out.
Looks a bit fakey wakey.
I noticed that.
So
Well, I will
Daniel-
say because I had to use the shuttle bay in this set, the holodeck set and the other sets were on a different place than they normally were, so they were probably a bit thrown together. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, what's he called? Daniel Davis, this guy. He, in between the 2 episodes of TNG that he did, he was also Captain Charlie Davenport of the aircraft carrier Enterprise in The Hunt for Red October.
Ah, yes, he
Okay.
was. Yeah.
He was the butler in The Nanny, wasn't he, as well?
Might have
Am I
been.
making that up?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you know Tim Russ was almost the butler in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Now you do. He was like the number 2 to the guy who won it.
I can't imagine it being anyone else but that guy, though. I mean, he was brilliant as Jeffrey.
Oh well, that's what Tim Russ said. He said he didn't have that dry, sarcastic British humor. It wasn't as good when he did it.
Yeah.
So he wasn't. He got a guest role in it, but yeah, he was happy for him because he said he did a better job. So what can you do?
Niles in The Nanny, 145 episodes.
There you go.
Never watched
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, yeah, he's similar, snide British butler to Jeffrey in Fresh Prince. Same kind of idea.
And although he doesn't mention Pulaski by name, he obviously references her in his hostage taking, which is the final reference to Pulaski's character up until Endgame. I don't know why she's referenced in Endgame. And as you mentioned, Ship to Bottle is one of the longest teasers, at just over 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
what
thought
did
it was
you say
a
was
long one.
referenced? What did you say was referenced in Endgame?
Endgame 2001, Pulaski.
Oh, okay. I don't remember Pulaski. Okay, fair enough. Go on.
Okay, so answers to the questions then, Sean. we
Yeah,
got
so he thought
mostly
it
We have
was...
C's and B's and many matchboxes.
Yep, Matchbox 20, that's it. And it was the Matrix diodes.
All right.
They do mention the spatial orientation systems, but that's not where he thought the problem
I got
was.
tricked.
Yeah, and the safety protocols, yeah, but obviously that's the thing that always fails in every Star Trek episode. And the biofilters, that's the kind of little
No, I'm all right.
tubes that they take out in lower decks. So
No, I
after
know,
they're
thank you.
using
No,
it
I'm
as,
fine. No, I'm fine. Thank you.
all the bodily fluids get collected, and then the lower deckers have to take them out of the holodeck periodically, which is a
Delightful.
detail again you see in lower decks. It's just so funny.
Right, so who I got to spin the wheel then? And I actually got to spin the wheel, haven't I? I've got to get my wheel up. Get my wheel up.
Quite a few. It was matchboxes, right? Quite a few people got that. Ruth, Montalban, Tavi, Stu Plum.
G.
That's it.
G got it.
Did you get it?
G
Oh
got
yeah, be a matchbox. Yeah.
Joel
Okay.
says, "Oh, too much detail. That's about the biofilters." Yeah. I know, but it's a very obvious gag in lower decks. It's very funny.
Yeah, very good.
Well, let's be honest. If holodecks existed, that's what they'd be used for.
Right, I'm spinning the wheel if I've got everyone there. Who's going to get those valuable points?
Or who will lose them all if?
Or who's going to lose them all? Stuplum! Well done, Stuplum.
10 extra points for Stu Plum on the wheel.
Very cool.
Done.
On the students.
On to Act 1. Marvellous. Okay,
It took 43 minutes.
so the Enterprise is arriving at the Detrian system to observe a unique event, the collision between two gas giant planets, Detria 2 and Detria 6. I don't know what happened to Detria 3, 4, and 5, but maybe they all collided at other times, and I don't know. In engineering, Geordi is making plans with Data to ensure all their sensor arrays have triple redundancy, so they won't miss a thing. As the two planets are gas giants, the process could birth a new star. Who knew? Barclay arrives and tells them about his encounter with Moriarty in the holodeck and that he wants to talk to the captain. So they grab Captain Picard and re-enter Program 3A and run the Moriarty program. After some greetings, Picard assures him that they haven't forgot about him. They turned their findings over to Starfleet's best theoretical physicists, and they also haven't come up with anything yet either. Picard is concerned that he experienced the passage of time whilst in the memory buffer. Moriarty isn't interested in any excuses, though. He doesn't believe anything Picard says. He just wants out of the holodeck. Moriarty challenges him that he can leave the holodeck if he so wishes. So Picard brings up the exit and throws out a book, and it disappears. But Moriarty points out that that's an inanimate object. He has a mind that thinks. And, you know, mind over matter, cogito ergo sum, and he walks out the holodeck and maintains his physical presence. He thinks, therefore he is. This surprises everyone in the holodeck, and surprises me that we've already reached the end of Act 1. Question time.
More chilly.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Which two planets are colliding in the Deathtree system? A, 4 and 7, B, 2 and 6, C, 3 and 5, D, 7 and 9. And the bonus question is, in which iteration of Star Trek do we next see Moriarty appear? That one should be fairly handy.
Yes. So in Act 1, the set decorator Jim Mees said it was a challenge in recreating the 22-1B Baker Street study set, which he tried to keep faithful to the descriptions in the original stories, as well as in the scenes from Elementary Dear Data. One noticeable difference was the wallpaper. I don't know if we can see it there, which had been discontinued in the preceding 4 years, so they couldn't recreate it exactly. And the other thing is a small anachronism. Moriarty's shirt was buttoned all the way down the front, and that style of shirts didn't become popular until the 1920s, well after the setting of the various Sherlock Holmes novels.
Okay, as I was briefly saying there as well, just when he goes out, there's the cuts between the fake corridor set that they put behind doors to make it look like part of the ship, and the real holodeck, because they're using this set as the holodeck, they're using the black grid one as the holodeck, and they're using the shuttle bay all in the same episode, so they couldn't have them all in the same place. And you can tell by the height of it, one is 3.5 beams high and one is 4 beams high. The the little ridged sections. So it changes from shot to shot because they're effectively have 3 different locations and they're pretending they're all the same location.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Sean. Have you got answers to the questions?
Yeah, we can do those. Yeah, so it was 2 and 6. 4 and 7 was obviously 47. 3 and 5, that was Hugh Borg was 3 of 5 and 7 of 9. Yeah, you probably got that one. And yeah, Moriarty next appears in Star Trek Picard. Although you'd argue it's not quite the same Moriarty because it's Data's memory of Moriarty, but it's the same actor, so whatever.
Okay.
I think Wookiee's worried for your health, Monty Brown. You've had enough. Stop eating the chili chocolate.
I'm all right,
And,
Wookie.
sorry,
I'm
there
B
was
correct, I presume. Everybody answered B.
I think everybody
there
answered
was kind of a
B.
vision of Shaxx
Picard.
dressed as Moriarty in Lower Decks, but it wasn't him. It was Picard's the right answer.
We got a B from Joe. Picard from Ruth, from Joe, from me, from Mazza, from Stuplum, not from G. We didn't get a Picard from G.
We didn't answer.
So
Joel's on the wheel for the first time.
Joel's on the wheel. Joel, you're on the wheel. Right. Are we ready?
Give me some more cards, Joe.
Let's do this thing. Who's it gonna be? Oh, not Wookiee. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh. I'm on the wheel. Does that mean I don't have to lose points?
You don't lose points. That was like a gain for you.
I know, but I should have been on the wheel.
Oh, should you have? Did you say?
But you forgot to put me on. Does that mean that I
No,
don't lose
you
points?
should have been on the wheel. I think we need a recount. We need a respin.
No, you just lose the points, Mazza. Accept the black hole.
You got to lose points with the rest of us.
Loses the points.
G-Star didn't lose the points, so he's lucky.
Oh,
G-Star.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he could end up in front of all of us in this, right?
Not really, because he got the first question wrong. So it's
on
on zero, apparently.
Well,
At least he's not in minus points.
That's true.
Good.
That's true. Right, Data summons security officer to escort them to sickbay, and Moriarty comments that policeman, he recognised them in any century. In sickbay, Beverly can't find, or finds him to be physically normal, DNA and everything. And LaForge detects no traces of loss of molecular cohesion. Picard assures Moriarty they will continue their investigation, and Moriarty, in the meantime, wonders what sea they sail. May he go above deck? Picard realizes he has more explaining to do. Picard and the policeman take him to 10 forward, where he's confronted with the reality of travelling through space. Moriarty wants to know how this is achieved. What method of propulsion do they use? He has a lot of questions. Picard offers him books and hopes he will stay on board for a while to explore this new world. But Moriarty is just pleased to be free. Well, at least for the brief moment, he's pleased. Picard feels compelled to remind him that criminal behaviour will not be tolerated. But Moriarty says his past is but a fiction. He promises that he is no criminal. Okay, so we won't be seeing any shenanigans of him then. Yeah.
He missed his opportunity to say, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
That's right. It's like Mrs. Rabbit.
Yeah.
We need a Roger Rabbit reference, bingo reference there.
It doesn't come up often enough for that.
It doesn't, no. I think that's probably one of the first Roger Rabbit references we've ever had on the TNG review show. So, yeah, you go. It's special in its own right. Okay.
Just for you, Wokas, I stand kind of to the side so it looks like I'm reversing.
So worried he was going to crash into something in a minute. They're wandering around backwards.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they're on Shuttle Bay 1.
Yeah.
Oh no, they've got one of those fancy screens where you can look ahead and never have to learn how to drive backwards.
Though he now feels very much alone, he wonders if he could impose on Picard's hospitality one more time. The love of his life, the Countess Regina Bartholomew, is still stuck in the holodeck. Can she be brought out as well? Picard reminds him that they don't know how he did it in the first place. According to the laws of physics, it should not be possible. But Moriarty surmises how he came to be. You know, the whole, they asked him to defeat Data, and says, can't they just do something similar for the Countess? But Picard refuses to sanction such actions, says, as they've created a new life form, they need to understand the implications of what they've done before they create more. Section 31 will be on their backs in 2 seconds, won't they? Be going like, you know, hang on, we can create sentient warriors just like a Xerox machine. Wow, we'll be doing that. But yeah. So Mario,
almost impervious. There's only a stamp-sized place you can shoot with a mobile emitter, and then if you miss it, the thing keeps coming at you.
Moriarty isn't happy about that though, and feels he's traded one prison for another. That he now exists out of time and he's alone. He begs Picard to consider his request one last time. So the senior staff get together in the observation lounge, senior staff and Barclay, and they discuss Moriarty's request. Whilst Troy understands Moriarty's frustration of being alone, the rest of the senior staff agree with Picard that the whole phenomenon needs to be investigated further. Picard agrees to speak to Moriarty and let them know his decision. So in Moriarty's quarters, Picard gives him the bad news that they will need to postpone any further action. Moriarty thinks that's typical Picard. He would still be waiting for his action if he hadn't taken matters into his own hands. Picard questions why he's in such a hurry. Is their relationship tied to some illegal venture? And Moriarty's appalled. How could he besmirch the Countess's good name? The computer created her to be a person of impeccable integrity. He just doesn't love her. He adores her. But what does adore mean? That means love, doesn't it?
J'adore is French for love, right?
Yes. I don't just love her. I love her.
I love her.
Well, I think adore would more mean be closer to say worship her rather than you know, if
It still just means
English,
love.
many words for the same thing.
It still just means love. Picard makes sense.
I think it's strange that he's alone. He's sentient. He's been locked and aware in a computer, disembodied, and they haven't sat him down with even fake Deanna Troy to be counseled.
Yes.
Well, you don't think you need any sort of psychological anything? He seems a bit bitter and maniacal. Maybe it's a good idea.
Should they actually utilize Deanna Troy for the purpose that she's there on the ship for? No. Surprised they didn't bring out Whoopi Goldberg and just send him to talk to her, you know. So Picard makes a sensible argument that if that is the case, and he does j'adore her, then they should take their time, because he wouldn't want to lose her because they acted too quickly. Riker then calls Picard to the bridge. On the bridge, they're observing the start of the planets colliding, and Data tells them the actual event will be within the next 5 hours. We get a nice shot of the planets. You can just see the atmosphere starting to like wisp away. This was a recreation for the Blu-ray. It didn't look quite that good in the SD versions.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Picard orders Worf to launch 4 Class A probes, but nothing happens. Then the systems start going down with command functions being diverted. I wonder that's what's happened to my stream earlier. I wonder if Moriarty was taking control of my YouTube studio. Maybe that's
We
what's
said
going
that
on.
because you disappeared and we were left in the, the waiting room, which is the holodeck. We were like, oh, this is ironic.
That's right, because even the background's the holodeck at the moment. That's brilliant. I didn't even think of that. So Picard wonders who has taken control of his ship. And out pops Moriarty from the turbo lift. He enters and says, "It's me. Everyone, I did it." And that's the end of Act 2. Oh,
okay.
Hooey.
So, which game is on the table where Picard and Moriarty sit? A, 3D chess, B, pair match, C, terrace, or D, stratagema? And I'm going to give a multiple choice on this one because it's tough. What is the proper Irish form of the surname Moriarty? So not the anglicized form we use now, but the original. A, O'Muelon, B, Maceda, C, O'Muinacon, or D, O'Muirhertig. So that's A, O'Muelon, B, Maceda, C, O'Muinacon, or D, O'Muirhertig.
25%.
Someone heard the Irish name and wrote it down the way they thought it sounded and changed it from one of those into Moriarty. So which one? Sorry, Mazza, go ahead.
Completely guessing on both. There we go.
oh.
Yeah, well, Mazza, it's trivia time.
Yes. Ah, poor Monty Van. So,
Wookie's saying there's something wrong with your color settings.
Wow, you really are red. Jesus.
yeah,
Am
you're
I?
almost blending in with your top there.
Wow.
Oh, I've gone a bit red.
A little bit.
A little bit.
So when Moriarty was like, "Oh, the stars outside," I take it that was all just an act then, because if he's recreated this whole, holodeck fakery, then he must have known that they were a starship. Or else, how would he have been able to recreate them?
Yeah, I would have
But,
thought so.
yeah.
It's even about, can I go walk the deck or whatever? I'm sure, I don't know. How did he have the
maybe he
knowledge to
did
do
the
He
everything
wrote
everything
the
he's
spec
done?
of the thing that he was, recreating.
Or
So,
maybe he
yeah.
just asked the computer to recreate the Enterprise and it was coming upon it. Which is explain why he
guess.
wasn't aware of what they were talking about in the holodeck, like 2 foot away from him.
Yeah. And when Moriarty blames his creator for writing him as a criminal, he says about the scribblings of an Englishman dead now for centuries. But Arthur Conan Doyle was Scottish.
With an Irish surname.
Yeah. And then, the concept of controlling a ship from the holodeck was first brought up in the Nth Degree, and then revisited in Emergence. Moriarty did create a crude device for affecting attitude control in his debut episode as well. Yeah. That's it. Not much trivs for Act 2, I'm afraid.
All right.
Those are starting to run.
Questions there. So the answer was B, pair match. That's the pyramid-looking game. And it was D, Moriarty. But B, Makeda. I don't know if Mazza or Monty recognize that. Maybe.
Sorry, what was that? I was kind of in my own little world, spacing out.
Well, it can be pronounced Makeda or Makia, depending. But it's the the original form of the surname McCoy.
Oh, it is. I recognize that.
I threw it in as an Easter egg to see what you noticed. So
I did know that. I did know that. Yeah. McCoy, Macaulay. A lot of the muck names.
Because you can kind of pronounce it different ways based on dialects. So it could be Makeda, it could be Makea.
Yeah.
So it can be different things.
Yeah,
a lot of them. The name Aiden comes from Ada. It's an old god or whatever.
Fire god. It's a fire god or something. It's an old Celtic fire god. Something like that. McCoy. Yeah.
I don't know how everybody got it right, but I think more people got the bonus question right than got the first question right. So we've got the wheel.
I thought I'd catch out a few people with that, but I didn't. Never mind. Go on, Anna.
Yeah, we got B's, C's, and D's for the first question, but most people have answered D for the second question. So for the wheel, we have Tavi, Mazza, Joel had no clue. I could have guessed Joel. Ruth. Tavi again, because she corrected her answers. Monteban, you changed yours.
I did. Right, I think that's everyone then.
Did that make any sense?
I think so. I've got everybody's name on the board. That should do us. Yeah. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, not again. Not again. Come on, Ruth. Come on, Ruth. Come on, Ruth. Yes, Ruthie, baby. Ruth gets some well-earned points.
You're done.
Well done. Okay. Act 3. How are we doing? 9 o'clock. That's not too bad, considering. Right. Picard explains about the planet collision and how they are all in danger, but Moriarty's like, so what do I care? I'm a fictional character. He will only comply if they get the Countess out of the holodeck. Picard claims they don't have the time, but Moriarty thinks it will concentrate their efforts, so Picard orders Data to comply with Moriarty's request. In engineering, Geordi, Data and Reg discuss how it can be done, and they end up deciding on using pattern enhancers to allow the transporter to get a lock on the object so that it can be beamed out. Picard enters and tells them that Moriarty has agreed not to interfere with normal ship operations as long as they make some progress. So they tell him about their pattern enhancer idea, and he's like, fantastic. Picard asks Geordi how Moriarty took over the ship, and Geordi says he is brilliant in any century, which is non-committal. Picard orders him to look into reversing it and regaining control, which he agrees to go and do. Reg heads to the holodeck to find the program running already. He then meets the Countess and tells her not to worry about him and his pattern enhancers. But she's quite interested, and she's like, oh, is this about James and me going into the real world? And Reg is shocked And it's like, oh, you know about the whole real world thing as well, do you? And the Countess is like, oh, yes. Yes, and she likes a good adventure. She's been to Africa on safari when she was 17, and her mother took to bed with worry that she'd be bitten by Teensy Fly. I just got to mute my phone because it keeps making noise. Teensy Fly. And she got to wear trousers on the whole trip. It was hard to go back to a corset.
That's pants, Tavi, for you.
Yeah. She knows what a corset is.
I know you know. I'm just poking fun.
Barclay gives a kind of giggle and he's like, oh, I'm sure it was.
And Joel, pants Joel.
But he keeps on working. He keeps on working. The Countess
He
continues.
manages to have a normal conversation with a woman. That's very strange.
I know. It's kind of normal. It's normal for Barclay, I guess.
I mean, it's not awkward. He's not making overtures. He's just chatting and just being, it's strange.
Yeah.
He's perfectly fine around holodeck characters. It's real people he has an issue with.
A good point.
Barclay's like, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I've read that. The Countess continues that she can't wait to explore the stars. And Barclay's like taken back again. You know about the stars and all that as well. Then okay, this is all perfectly normal. But he doesn't think she sounds like any normal holodeck program. And Moriarty enters from the hallway and tells him she isn't any normal holodeck program. And they kiss. They have a good smoochy smoo. And Barclay's like, okay, so they're doing that in front of me. That's nice. Moriarty gave her consciousness in the same way that Geordie and Data gave it to him. Barclay doesn't think that was a good idea, but the Countess enthuses about Reg's pattern enhancers and how they're going to help them get into the real world. Barclay's then overjoyed that his work is being appreciated and signals to Data to start the transport. They start to transport a chair that actually does disappear, to the pleasure of all those stood in the holodeck. So here's some pictures of that process here. I've got a little slideshow. So there's Data in engineering. Woo, Data! Woo! Saying beginning transport. And then there's the chair in the pattern enhancers that have been turned on, being transported.
Pattern enhancers aren't the only thing turned on.
There's Barclay looking thrilled that this chair just got transported. And there's the holodeck characters also being thrilled at the progress they're making. And there's Data not so thrilled in the transporter room because nothing actually appeared on the transporter pad. Unfortunately, nothing dematerialized. So when Data thought, well, at least we can learn from the exercise, he tried to look up the transporter logs. There was no information present. It was as though the transport had never occurred. So, down in engineering, Geordie thinks he can re-establish the command codes. Picard gives it a go, saying his own command codes to re-establish them, but it doesn't work. Data enters engineering and throws Geordie some kind of device, which he catches with his left hand. Data tells the captain he has determined how Moriarty left the holodeck. In short, he didn't. This is all still a simulation. They are still on the holodeck. And that is the end of Act 3.
Can I just say there's a really bad jump cut where they throw it to Data and then or to Geordie and then he just like does this because obviously he couldn't catch it with the visor on. So he just throws it in general direction and then they stop and he kind of just does that. Yeah, it's bad when you see it because I was looking for it. So
I didn't notice that.
Future Trek actor Benedict Cumberbatch played Holmes in BBC Sherlock. But which Trek character did he go on to play? And yes, I'm playing fast and loose with the rules this week. Some questions have multiples, others don't. And the bonus then. Moriarty refers to Barclay as Lieutenant, but who in Strange New Worlds refers to themselves in the same manner? As in Lieutenant, not Lieutenant.
Ah, dang it, I don't watch that show.
You can make an educated guess at it.
It's English. Don't know. I don't know. I don't watch enough Strange New Worlds to guess.
Unlucky. Okay. Is there a huge spider down my green screen? I doubt it. I don't think so.
Oh, is that the security officer woman?
That's only my guess. That was a complete guess.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember what her name was. But of course, she's like a descendant or a.
Oh, Lan Noonien Singh. No, she doesn't do that.
Ah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, it's not her then.
She previously appeared in Doctor Who, funnily enough, but that's not relevant.
Okay.
All right. Any trivia there, Mazza?
Oh yeah, sorry, forgetting my place. What have we got? So Alexander Singer said that the most difficult aspect of the show for him was casting the part of Regina Bartholomew. They wanted somebody who could pull off an English accent and had a regal appearance, but also could look sexy in Victorian clothes. So yeah, they saw Stephanie Beacham and were like, end of story. She's apparently, which I didn't know, but she's deaf in one ear, and when she's talking to Picard, she sort of cocks her head a little bit because she's trying to sort of, hear properly. But I didn't know that.
She's still alive.
But, what an actress she is. Yeah, she's still acting. I mean, I know on IMDb there's been a few people.
She's got to be nearly 80 or something.
Credits, but she's got 108 acting credits. Most recently played sort of Peg in Grey Matter 2003 to 3 credits for 2003. So yeah, she was in Coronation Street from 2009 to 2022. Couldn't have been like a major part because there's only 27 episodes over that
13 years.
But, yeah, that's crazy.
Well, 27 episodes.
How old is she? That's a good question.
I'm going to guess 78.
I can't do math. She was born in 1947. What does that make her?
76 or so, yeah.
That's a good guess.
76, yeah. There you go. She's doing
sorry.
good.
Okay.
I think that's
just for Wookiees.
I remember her from like Dynasty and things like that.
Oh no, got a bit more. So the transporter logs, there was a bit of an error with what was on the screen versus what the computer told Data. So on there, I think it said transport log 721, but the actual readout said it was 759. And both, it's another anachronism. Moriarty and the Countess have cap teeth, which veneers were obviously not available to the 1950s, not the 1890s, which is when this might have been set.
Monty, do you have a X Asterisk open on this episode by any chance? Just where you were referring to the transporter pad thing and it being two different screens. But anyway, if you it does, but if you scroll right down to the bottom, the very bottom of the screen on X Asterisk there. See where it says credits? A little bit further down.
Yeah, down here.
Oh, thanks to Sean O'Sullivan for the hint about the transporter log.
So
Hey!
IMDb had it written down wrong, and and there was a slight error in the way that X Asterisk had it written. So I sent him a little tip, and they went, "Oh yeah, you're right." So it was correct in the original version, and IMDb has it wrong. And the remastered version, they recreated it and they changed the number. So originally it was fine. It was in the remastered the problem. IMDb had it wrong, and I checked it here to look at the screenshots, and I noticed, and I sent a tip to the guy who runs this website, and he fixed it. And now I have a credit against this episode
That's
for fixing
very cool.
that
Well
particular
done,
fact.
Sean.
Nice.
So that's quite
very cool.
You passed it further down.
Oh,
But,
no, I saw it here.
Yeah, but it's no, not that the transporter pads. That's what I thought you were looking for. But anyway, look, that's quite a nerdy fact. But yeah, I corrected the nerdy I corrected the correctors. So yeah, I am nerdy.
Was it here? Was it that
Yeah,
one?
so it says 721 there. But if you go to the first image, it says it's a bit blurry, but you can see it says 759.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says 721, but the other.
Yeah, the other one says it
let's
right.
check
but
it
it's
out.
just when they remastered it.
Oh, you can't.
You
can't make it out.
Yeah, you almost can, but it matches. It's close enough, and it matches the dialogue. So it's you're fairly sure it's 759. So it looks like it matches.
Very cool. That's very cool, Sean. Well done. I like that.
That's the level of nerdiness you get on this show.
I was trying to see if I could see. You can't quite make it out, but you can just make out like the wrinkled carpet there.
Yes.
It's like yeah. It looks really wrinkly.
Also, like up to the edges where it looks the worst. You
Yeah.
can sort of see the tape curling
I'm
up on the
definitely
edges.
looking at the carpet in that photo.
I don't know if people dress like that in the Victorian age, where you wear a dressing gown over a shirt and tie. I mean, that doesn't, the whole point of that is to be comfortable. Not so much when you're wearing a shirt and tie under it.
Well, can you imagine they were home and then it was
Smoking
really
jacket,
cold
wasn't
and
it?
wet and dank there? So if you were at home and you were just wearing
that's the thing.
tie, you'd want something
Fair
on
enough.
all the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a dressing gown for bed. It was like a smoking jacket, and he was. With his
Fair
pipe,
point.
Right.
Okay, fair point.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Did you eat your chocolate that time round?
I did.
Did I miss it?
I did. I had my
Oh,
chocolate.
good. Well done.
Just a quick note to Wookie. I've just seen some messages from G. We're just trying to work out what happened to a comment of yours on another video on the Vault. And neither myself or G deleted it. So we don't know what's happened to it. We're looking for it and we'll attempt to reinstate it. Yeah. I don't know if there's
delete Wookie.
No, we don't delete comments, so neither did Smiler. No, we are checking behind the scenes to see what happened, but no, nobody deleted it. Okay, so answers then for the spinny wheel.
So, well, we've
Benedict.
got Khan.
No, it wasn't Khan.
Khan.
Well, it was Lan Noonien Singh. It wasn't Khan at all. That's not her name. But outside of that,
The
no,
first
it's
question was
The first question.
the first question. Sorry, yes.
Khan.
Apologies. Yes, sorry. Khan. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Khan.
Khan is correct.
Yeah.
The lieutenant
And
one.
then for
Who?
the second question, we've got Khan, Scotty, Uhura, Scotty, not Uhura, she's a cadet, Scotty.
Yeah, it was Scotty. He's the British guy.
Yes.
Yes,
okay, so I got it right
appears
second
in the season
time.
finale of Strange
Didn't
New
cheat
Worlds.
at all. Didn't cheat at all.
your
That
first-
was not a cheat.
He refers
Didn't
to
cheat.
himself as lieutenant.
Who cheats? I didn't cheat.
Did you cheat?
No.
And
I thought it was
just
Khan's granddaughter to begin with, but then
Oh, yeah.
Sean openly said it wasn't, so I changed my answer to the next Brit that I could think of, which was Scotty.
Right. I see.
But it just
Cool.
took
So
took
we've
my
got
brain. He
Khan.
said lieutenant because I'd never heard. That's the only other time I've heard it that I can recall.
Yeah.
Tabby, Monty, Ruth. Is that?
Oh, no Stu Plum or Maz. Oh, it's going to be Wookie this time, isn't it?
I didn't even guess. Nor did Joel.
Oh, that'd
What
be
did
funny
Stu
with the.
Plum say?
It's gonna
Plum's still with us?
it's gonna be. It's
Thingy
gonna,
and whatchamacallit. That's what. Brilliant.
right, I'm spinning the wheel.
Come on.
Come on, Tavi.
Oh, yes.
It's Tavikins' turn now. She got the extra points.
Davikin. Nice.
And it's green, so I can't even be mad. So there we go. Act 4. No, Joel had no idea. No. Okay. Right.
Yeah, well, they got an actual Scot to play Scotty. So
yeah, that was
first time
quite.
for
I
everything.
thought it must be. Oh, I didn't mean to push the wheel. I thought it must be because he was very Scottish, like proper Scottish, not like fake American Scottish.
No, he's real Cumbernauld. It's perfect.
Okay, so Act 4 then. Geordie's like, wait, what? We're still on the holodeck, and Data kind of looks at him like kind of sideways for a minute. Like, we'll come to that in a minute. Data overlooks this obvious point and continues with Picard that they tried transporting a hologram off the holodeck, but because the computer had never done this before, it didn't know how to simulate the results, so it couldn't make a transporter log. Geordie points out... Sorry?
You think he'd be smart enough not to have that conversation in front of someone he thinks is a simulation connected to a dude that's taking over the ship?
Yeah, especially as they used him to get the codes off of Picard. Anyway, yeah. Geordie points out that it could be just a problem with the transporter, but Data then throws a spanner at Geordie and he catches it. Data points out he's already done the throwing thing. Data points out that he's left-handed. He isn't left-handed. Geordie's right-handed, but he caught the spanner with his left hand. And whilst Geordie's thinking about that for one moment, Data takes his comm badge off and tosses it towards the warp core, briefly showing the edge of the holodeck wall. I mangled that up. Picard is like, oh bugger, and starts ordering the computer to disengage the holodeck to no avail. He contacts Riker on the bridge, who confirms they're in engineering, so comms is locked into the holodeck as well. They excuse the Holo Geordie, who goes off to do Holo Geordie things behind the back wall of engineering. Poor Geordie. Picard then questions who's real, and Data thinks it's just the two of them and Lieutenant Barclay. The three of them entered the holodeck to meet Moriarty, and they've been stuck in there ever since. Picard starts fretting that he just gave out his command codes, which Moriarty could use to take over the ship proper this time. Data's like, oh, we've really fucked it, haven't we, sir? And Picard's like, yeah, I think we have. We've now got to find a way of giving him what he wants. Meanwhile, in the real world, because they fucked it, Riker's found that everything is now turned off. And just as he's about to sneeze, things go sideways on the bridge. Moriarty takes control of the ship, and Riker demands that they be released and asks what happened to Picard, Data, and Broccoli. Once again, Moriarty demands to be let out of the holodeck, with Riker saying it's impossible. Moriarty tells them about the transporter trial and feels it only didn't work because the transporters they used were facsimiles. Geordie doesn't think that will work anyway, though, but Moriarty finds their lack of faith disturbing, so decides they need 2 hours WOO without oxygen. Oh no, he just messes about with the warp core. Riker orders Geordie to work on the problem right away, and Worf reports that the core temperature has returned to normal.
I was just laughing there and saying flibble, because that's
Flibble.
It was a Red Dwarf reference, right? Without oxygen.
Yeah, Red Dwarf reference. I was waiting for someone to say Red Dwarf reference, so Terry could put Red Dwarf
No,
in.
I was on mute. I was laughing and saying stuff, and then you weren't responding, and I realised I was on mute.
It's a classic scene.
Still hasn't watched Red Dwarf, so
It's an absolute classic
overtly
scene.
say it.
And Sean didn't say it, so I don't know if it counts for the bingo.
Oh, it still counts. It still counts.
Still counts.
See you later, Joel. Thanks for coming along, mate. It's really been great to see you. Sorry about the messed up
Appreciate
stream.
Yeah.
And he'll
Yeah,
be on the
imagine if a ship
scoreboard
with power
later.
cuts.
We'll tot
That
up his
happened.
scores and get
Yeah,
him on the board.
you've actually got some points. So you'll be on the scoreboard.
And if you got a bingo card, I can put you on here.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if you clicked that link earlier, but yeah, you get points if you did.
I'm busy looking up. I'm busy looking up a fact that I believe I heard about Data, which would make this entire episode pointless. But I can't.
He's circumcised?
He's not.
Wookie says, Tavi, hypothetically speaking, how many hazelnuts do you think you could stuff into each cheek? I reckon about 50 oversight of the mouth. Although it's probably more like 100 or more. No way.
I think he meant over each side.
I've got walnuts in the hazelnuts in the cabinet.
Oh, you could actually try it then.
Oh, then it would become that kind of show. It's not going to be only Monty eating strange things tonight.
To be fair, you eat strange things most streams, so I'm just trying to catch up.
Bless.
It's like sheets of kelp over there.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that picture of Moriarty, can you go back one picture? It looks like he's got like a greyish, purplish sort of eyeshadow on.
I'm trying to. Hang on. My tabs have gone off the end of the. Oh, he does. He on his left eye there. Yeah.
It does look like he's wearing makeup.
It does, which he is, to be fair, but more makeup than is appropriate.
Yeah, strictly needed.
Yeah. Anyway, Riker's orders Geordi to go work on the problem right away, and Worf reports that the core temperatures return to normal. I think I just said that, but I'm kind of, verging on seeing things now. So
You keep coughing and stuff. Are you struggling?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Picard enters the holodeck. Picard enters the holodeck in the holodeck, returning to 221B Baker Street, where Picard introduces himself to Countess Bartholomew. The Countess finds him charming and full of wit and guile, and she compares him to a bewitching Viscount of her acquaintance. Picard explains they have devised to transport them to the real world by first decoupling the Heisenberg compensators and allowing them to re-scramble randomly. He appeals to her to work on Moriarty to persuade him to do the right thing and release the computer to him before he agrees to use this technique. After a while, after telling Picard that sounds more like a threat than a compromise, she agrees to do what she can. On the real Enterprise, the collision is continuing at pace, with Geordi still thinking it's too early to tell if they're too close to the gravity well to be destroyed. I thought at this point Geordi was just ordered to go to engineering and find a way of beaming them out. Why is he still just stood on the bridge watching the planets collapse into each other? Geordi, go do your job, man. Yeah.
Is this real Geordi?
This is real Geordi on the real bridge. We literally just had a scene where Riker ordered him to go work on the transporters, but he's still there. Anyway, Worf reports he's still having no luck getting in force fields protecting the holodeck. Well, at least Worf's trying. To be fair, Worf's just stood there as well whilst his men do the work, but at least he's trying.
He's working. He's delegating. That's a job.
That is a job. It must be a very good job because that's all I do. So takes a lot of skill, I'll tell you. Back in 221B Baker Street, the Countess Bartholomew tells Moriarty of Picard's plan and tries to persuade him to accept Picard's proposition to release the ship's computer. Moriarty dismisses this option and instead triumphantly calls the Arch, using it to contact Riker. He tells Riker he wants him to uncouple the Heisenberg compensators, and he looks pretty smug about it as well. And that's the end of Act 4 and our next question time.
Question 4.
Oh, no.
What title does Regina have, or Regina, as she likes to say? A. Countess, B. Baroness, C. Viscountess, or D. Marquess? And the bonus question. While pretending to break bad, which piece of equipment did Picard say they had to uncouple in order to beam them out?
Break bad. Typing long words. Right. Anyway, Act 4. So yeah, when they discover that, I think you mentioned this earlier, Sean. So when they discover they're on the holodeck and they're like, "Oh, go away, Geordie. Like we want to talk in private," and they're sort of scheming. Surely because Moriarty's controlling the holodeck, he would have known and seen and heard everything they were saying. Or is it because the holodeck puts up, physical walls or something? Maybe he wouldn't hear them. I don't know.
He's in different part of the ship, and that's the way they've done it. Yeah, strange. He's not just spying on them, but yeah, apparently they can just talk back. It's like Shakespeare, where you whisper about someone who's standing 2 foot away from you, and he just pretends not to hear. I guess it's just the way it's done.
And I was wondering when Moriarty was on that screen there. I don't know if Montyman knows. It looked like the background was like some sort of quarters or something. I don't know where he was.
Yeah, it looked like the quarter set. Yeah,
just like random, or was he in Picard's quarters or something?
I think he was in Picard's quarters. Yeah.
You think he was? Yeah.
Well, there's only the one quarter set, although there's walls they can bring up and bring down to make it look bigger and smaller. Well, sorry, there was 2 at different times. There's one with no rooms, but the one with the windows there was always the same set. Sorry, there's one with no windows, an internal room that they sometimes used, but that room is always the same set if you see those windows.
I just assumed he'd taken. I mean, it might be his quarters that he was given when he was on the fake Enterprise, but I kind of assumed it was Picard's quarters, to be honest.
Because there's a different color there depending on whose quarters it is, and they decorate it slightly. It's always the same room. Like, I can't really tell.
What else? Oh yeah, you said about Riker asking the Forge to go work on the transporter problem. There was like a weird audio sort of sync thing where you hear LaForge go, "Aye, sir," but his mouth kind of just goes. It just like opens and shuts. It doesn't say anything with 2 syllables. No. Yeah. And also, so this is more.
I think I'm honestly getting used to the chocolate. It doesn't seem as bad now.
Yeah. Well, that's the way with spicy food, isn't it? Like my first taste of a dal, I'm always like, "Oh my god, that's hot as hell." By the end of the day, I'm just shoveling it in without noticing. But yeah, Geordie was saying that the gravity well is beginning to intensify, and Riker says the Enterprise is being pulled in since they might be too close. But this says here, since the gravity exerted by an object is directly proportional to its mass, the combined gravity of the 2 planets would remain the same. If anything, it would be diminishing after the merger, since that will ignite fusion, converting mass into energy, which is radiated away. But I thought if you had like a planet with, mass of 1 and a planet with a mass of 1, if they joined together and they had a mass of 2, wouldn't the gravity be higher? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you would think so.
Yeah. So.
And I suppose if they're dependent, I suppose if you're somewhere in the middle of the 2 of them, then they're pulling against each other. They're cancelling each other out somewhat. Whereas, but if they join, then they're increasing. So if you're kind of in a triangle, roughly halfway equidistant with regards to mass, then you'd think that them getting closer, I suppose, it could do it.
The only thing
maybe they're implying that the pull on the Enterprise, with 2 of them being in front of them, they're getting a pull from 2 different gravities. If it goes together, they're still getting a pull of 2 gravities, but maybe that's what it's trying to say.
I don't know, because actually when these things happen, generally a lot of the mass of those things in the violence of the collision gets blown outwards. So the thing that's left in the end is less than the combined mass of the 2 things that it was originally, if you know what I mean. It's like 1.4 the times the mass of the original objects,
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all I had for that act.
Cool.
So we got
answers?
We got quite a few A's and quite a few Heisenberg compensators.
That's
C and a
correct.
Heisenberg compensator.
Wasn't it Viscount? Was she a Viscount?
No, it was Countess.
Oh, was it Countess?
But I will say a Countess should refer to herself as Lady, not Countess, because I went down a small bit of a rabbit hole, and apparently it's only a duchess gets or as a baroness. One of them gets to refer to themselves by their title, but everyone else is just lady. So you should say lady, but not countess. Yeah, but it went deep down a royal protocol rabbit hole. Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
It's fun, isn't it? Researching these questions, you go down rabbit holes
Yeah,
of learning all sorts of new wonderful things.
I never really cared about the rank of peerages before, and I doubt I will again. But for the purposes of finding that question, I found something out.
So for the wheel, I take it was the Heisenberg compensator, right?
It was, yeah. That Breaking Bad clue didn't throw you by any chance.
Do you want to explain the Breaking Bad reference?
Yeah, well, yeah. Walter White refers to himself as Heisenberg in relation to the guy who invented the uncertainty principle, which is you can know where an object is, or you can know how fast it's traveling, but you cannot know both at the same time. But apparently in Star Trek, you can just turn on a Heisenberg compensator, and apparently you can. But figure that one out.
So on the board we have Mazza, Tavi, Ruth, Montyman, Stuplum. That's it.
Right, I'm spinning that wheel. Oh, it's green again. Look at that. All the greens.
Woo-hoo!
Tavi green.
Woo-hoo!
Green army.
Green is my favorite color.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I watched the Greens last night. I went to Home Park and watched Plymouth get absolutely thumped by Crystal Palace, which is a Premiership team. So it was we were winning 2-0 up until the half time, and they brought on 3 substitutes that totaled £20 million. They just dumped £20 million on the grass, and 5 minutes later they'd scored 3 goals. It was fun to watch.
Like they started off with the B team, and then they were like, "Nah, let's put in the A team."
Our goal's better than we thought. We better put on the A team, and they just went here, and they just went bish bosh bosh, 3 goals. It was fun. It was really good. Anyway, nobody cares about football. Well done, Tavi. Congratulations again with your green. You were lucky green this week. I think that should be your colour on the board.
Tavi might have an unassailable lead at this stage.
Yeah.
I got one wrong at least, so.
Oh, I've got quite a few wrong, so don't you worry about that.
Yes, Tavi did get one wrong, but now that she's getting all the bonuses, she's sort of creeping back up again. But I think Ruth is actually in the lead at the moment.
Oh, what a Ruth!
Oh, okay.
Just by a little way.
Oh, and she got a bonus as well, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So we're into the final act. We are here, and it's not even 10 o'clock. So we got ourselves back on track. I'm quite happy about that. So the happy couple are discussing leaving the holodeck, and the Countess wonders where they will go. Moriarty's like, we'll go everywhere, which I think is a little over-optimistic, really. He does point out there are more worlds in the galaxy than there are grains of sand on the shoreline. There are by some factor, I think. And Riker appears over comms to say that they're ready for the transport. So Moriarty places the pattern buffers. They step into the transport area and are transported into the transporter room. They've done it. They're out. Riker quickly wants them. Yeah, no, they are, honestly.
His their ability to go everywhere doesn't sound too bad, considering that if they're hologram characters, why would they be, I guess, mortal? Unless they somehow configured them with human cells, which...
they just gave them an average lifespan for the people of the age that they are, and just let them...
Where did their DNA come from?
Yeah.
How does it work? I don't, who knows?
There never was any. That was just Moriarty inventing that in the program, just to fool them. That's all.
Yeah,
it was a holographic Beverly. It wasn't the real Beverly saying it. It just made it up.
They step into transport. Oh no, I've said that. So Riker quickly wants to skip any formalities because the whole exploding star thing, but Moriarty has more demands. He wants a shuttlecraft. So they are quickly escorted to the shuttle bay, given a shuttle that's made fully voice command enabled, and they can go wherever they want. Riker recommends going to Meles 2, its nearest planet, and its people are friendly. The couple thank him for all he's done, and they leave in the shuttle.
So how does he know how to fly up a shuttle now? He has to be a pilot.
It just voice commands.
Just says, shuttle forward, shuttle.
Yeah, they said it's
Check course, Meles true.
Make it
Okay.
Yeah, shuttle land, I need that in Star Citizen. That'd be great.
I guess they could have programmed it to be super easy and barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yeah. we don't have a pitch meeting reference bingo card, unfortunately.
That's true, but that's something that you do more than Sean.
That's true.
It's a good one, though.
It's a good one. Once they leave, they find that space is wondrous. It's a wondrous sight. And Moriarty instructs the computer to interface with the main computer back at the Enterprise and issues the unlock command. The Countess asks, will they go back to Earth one day? And Moriarty's like, of course, my dear, of course we will. And they head off into space. Happily ever after. Picard enters the shuttle bay, save and discontinues the program, as it was a double ruse. Moriarty's not leaving the holodeck at all. He's still in a holodeck within a holodeck. Picard exits the holodeck in the holodeck and discontinues that holodeck. So the corridor disappears, revealing another holodeck. There you go. You can see there actually the wrinkly carpet.
Yeah, that's because he left the shuttle bay and they just rolled the carpet out very quickly.
They just quickly rolled the carpet out just for that corner.
They didn't redress it, yeah. Just to he literally just walk from one room to another. The shuttle bay.
Although to be fair, they're not actually in that. That's all it's all blue screen.
Green screen. It is actually right.
Because this is all about to disappear to be another holodeck. I mean, you can tell looking through Data's arm there. I see. The carpet doesn't quite doesn't look right.
Yeah, it's green screen. It's green screen down. It's not quite right. You're right.
I think it's actually looking at it's blue screen. It's like a light blue screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. I wonder what that was then. I thought Tabby's been gotten by some alien thing, but it's not. It's her hand.
Actually, yeah. When you pause it like that, and you can see Picard's legs as well. It's all.
Yeah.
It's a quick shot. You're not supposed to notice.
No.
Well,
We're not dwelling. Who's dwelling? And who's dwelling? I like Wookie was saying earlier on. He's getting a bit annoyed that his ship tours are being obstructed by somebody's big head. I don't know whose big head he's talking about.
I made my head smaller, but
You did.
I mean, I can.
Oh, there you go. Yes. There you go, Wooks. There you go. He's all right. There you go. So.
Sorry, carry on.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So.
All right.
So they discontinue this holodeck and find themselves in another holodeck, and they contact the bridge, and Riken confirms that all the systems have been restored and they're moving away from the collision to a safe position. They leave Reg. As they leave, Reg removes the holodeck memory core and keeps that with him. And then later in the observation lounge, Picard explains they pulled the same ruse that Moriarty pulled on them, making him think he'd left the holodeck, but he hadn't. Dumb holodeck characters. The program's still running. in the memory cube, and as far as they know, they're halfway to Melis 2 by now. Barclay places it in a computer module that contains enough experiences to last them a lifetime. Not sure what a holodeck character's lifetime is, so hope there's got a lot of memory. Picard suggests... Sorry, go on, Tab.
Moriarty was saying when he was going insane, it was because he was a disembodied character. So I'm wondering, I was like, the way they were explaining, I'm like, well, they didn't in program, but are they sure him and the Countess aren't disembodied now that they're unplugged?
Well, they're not. The program is running.
They're not stored. They're running.
Stored in memory. The program is running, has active memory, so the simulation is happening around them.
I seem to remember once, because now they know how to create basically sentient holodeck holograms. They use this to create like the EMH and characters like Vic Fontaine in Deep Space Nine. And I think Vic Fontaine himself at one point's like, you know, do you mind not turning me off? Because he doesn't like it. He'd rather be left on, you know?
I feel like singing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did like how they were doing the holograms in Picard though, where they gotten a bit more advanced.
Well, there is a theory that if you as computer power continues to get higher and better, eventually it'll hit the point where we have infinite computer power, and when that happens, you can ask a computer to run a simulation. You know, what if I were born a woman? What if I turn left instead of right? Etc. etc. And if everyone's just doing those like Googling things constantly, there will be, you know, however many million or billion or trillion artificial worlds for those simulations to complete, with only one real world at the base of it. And mathematically, if you follow that model, if there's only one real world and there's billions to trillions of computer simulations, the likelihood is we're not living in the real world.
Watch the Monty Zone on Friday. That's my recommendation.
Sorry, have I just taken your point away?
What if I won the lottery and just had a buttload of fuck you money?
I don't think it means you can just manifest stuff.
I don't know.
Fortunately.
On Friday, if that worked out.
No, it's like if you Google it, the whole simulation of 14 billion years of the Earth running would happen as a quick as a Google search, and you'd just get the results, but it would cause all these worlds to be manifested within the computer. All these artificial realities, parallel Earths.
I look out for black cats.
What if the Earth is already beyond extinction and now we're just in the cloud of existence? But okay. I'll stop.
Forget all that philosophical
Watch
stuff.
the Monty Zone on Friday.
Wondering why
Bring
Troy
your
isn't
questions.
wearing her formal uniform.
Well, because the formal uniform that she was wearing last time was in a holodeck simulation, wasn't it? So I think they decided to change her uniform to show that the difference between the holodeck character and her actual character.
Well, I guess, but they should have done it the other way around, being that she now wears her proper uniform. Well, it should have reverted back to her old uniform in the simulation, because it would have shown that maybe Moriarty's information was
out of date. Yeah.
But I will say, I think they obviously did it as a costume experiment, and it took for that episode to come out, them to review it, and then to decide that they liked it. And there were probably 2 or 3 more episodes in production in the interim between, the way the productions work. So yeah, she's probably not in the jumpsuit again next week, and maybe the week after. We'll explore that next week, I'm sure.
Yeah. I like Mr. Tavikin says, "Welcome to my life." Ruth likes the idea to find out she was playing a game. It reminds me of like the Despair Squid. Is it this Despair Squid when they all wake up and find that they're
Dwayne Dibley.
I'm Dwayne Dibley. yeah. You didn't play the whole game as Rimmer as the asshole, did you? It's like, oh my god.
Why did you think BSc stood for Bronze Swimming Certificate? And you can't swim.
Okay, so we've only got a
So I was
couple
like,
of
what?
we've only got a couple of lines left. On
Continue.
on leaving, Picard suggests, who knows, they could be in a simulation running on someone's desk somewhere, and he tasks Barclay with taking care of the holodeck cube. As they leave, Barclay looks kind of worried, and when everyone's gone, he just has to check by saying, "Computer, end program." Just in case, you never know. But nothing happened, and he seems pretty satisfied with that. The Enterprise moves to a safe distance and observes the birth of a new star. And that is the end of your episode. Ta-da!
Very good.
I can have my last piece of chocolate.
Is there still some left after that piece?
Not a lot.
Oh,
All right. That's something
almost
for
got
Monty's
through the
own.
whole bar.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
so-
You could give G-Star one. That'd be
See what
fun.
you think of it.
Okay, so which planet did the hologram set course for? A. Metallus Prime, B. Melis 2, C. Setlic 3, D. Rigel 4. And bonus question, who is the Doctor Who equivalent to Moriarty? So the character in Doctor Who generally goes around scheming, trying to set up traps, and just kind of a friend, kind of a foe, goes through a whole lot of stuff. You know who I'm on about.
I know.
Don't watch Doctor Who, so I don't know.
He's fairly well known now, even if you don't watch the show. But
No clue.
Time Lord. He was the
You've got
reason.
Metallus in
He was
there
the
again.
reason I first grew a goatee, because I just like the goatee.
the Delgado era, yeah. Alright. Well, it was kind of weird. The first couple, they all made him look exactly the same, even though they were different actors
Yeah.
in comparison to the thingamabobs and the doctors who were changing. Got a trip, Maz?
Yes.
Oh, I got to answer. haven't I?
So Moriarty's line, there are more worlds in the heavens than there are grains of sand on shoreline, is a paraphrase. Oh, I probably did from everything. Is a paraphrase of Carl Sagan's famous quote, "Those worlds in space are as countless as all the grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth." So, yeah, we probably had that. Well, I'm pretty sure Jodie Foster, is it, quotes that in Contact as well. Do you know the name of the shuttlecraft?
I don't actually.
Voyager.
It was the Sakharov, named after Andrei Sakharov, a Russian nuclear physicist and Nobel laureate. What else? With the shuttlecraft, they asked the computer to get ready to depart, but then there's a side shot which shows that the nacelles aren't lit up or anything, so they're supposed to be ready to go, but it still looks like it is off. Moriarty calls Regina my love, which is what Holmes said to Elizabeth in Young Sherlock Holmes, and also in Elementary, Moriarty said chance is into, and Holmes said chances upon. So you're using sort of similar language phrases to what's in the films. In the last speech, Picard comes eerily close to breaking the fourth wall by saying about their reality being a little in a box on a table somewhere, which obviously we watch it on my TVs and our phones. And in the last scene where Barclay says computer end program, the computer does not say anything, and he seems quite happy about that, but you'd probably prefer the computer to say, please restate the order, or there's no program running, or, rather than just complete silence.
Yeah.
We talked about how there's clues all the way through that this is an illusion. One of the things that they do to enforce that is having very few shots of the outside of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And they do that in other episodes as well, like Distant Voices and Projections. Troy's uniform, you mentioned that as well. What else? Oh, yeah, and we've mentioned that this marks, is a predecessor for sentient holographs such as the Doctor and Vic Fontaine. And also the Doctor, obviously Moriarty wants to leave the confines of the holodeck. And in Voyager, the Doctor achieves that with his mobile emitter. So, yeah, that's
What are
pretty
you
cool.
doing?
And that's it for Triffs and goofs. Are we closing the bingo?
Bingo is closed.
Did you put in the Doctor Who reference there, Tavi? I figured that one went in there.
Yeah, we've finished off the questions. It was Melee's 2. The other planets are well known, but I just needed a 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, it was the Master. Yes, that's correct.
So the people on the wheel are Ruth, Tavi, Monty.
Oh, wheel. Tabby, Monty. You don't want to be licking my fingers. You won't like it. Just Ruth, Tavi, Monty?
Yep.
Ruth, Tavi, Monty. Oh no. That's not good. Gives Wookiee a 25% chance. That's not good at all. Oh no, it's spin the wheel. Oh no.
Oh, Wookiee.
Oh no. Oh, Ruth. You saved us, Ruth. I think that was 2 for Ruth tonight and 2 for Tavi. 1 for Wookiee.
Yes.
And 1 for Maz, was it, I think?
1 for Stuplum.
Stuplum.
And 1 for Wookiee. 2
Ah,
for Ruth, 2 for Tavi. None
Very
for
cool.
me.
No.
I only had a -10.
No more. None for me. No. Never mind.
Oh yeah, don't let the dog lick the chili because A, it's chili, and B, it's chocolate, and they're both not very good for a doggy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
you can't-
that'll be a fun morning cleaning up
can't
after
have
that.
that. No, it'll
Oh,
be
yeah,
bad for
be
you.
nasty.
It'll be bad for you. Yeah, I don't want that, do we? No. Don't want a chili dog.
So, are we doing the score round? Oh, we can't
Scores?
quite do the score round.
Right,
yet.
start thinking
How
about what.
Yeah, people put their marks out of 10 into chat, and we'll just sort of talk a little bit about some reception, and then we'll do the score roundup and get our paddles out. Threatening to get my paddle out.
Ooh.
So this was apparently one of Brandon Bragger's favorite episodes. He said it's his favorite kind of show, twisty turny, complex mystery. In this case, I thought it worked pretty well, and certainly the pairing of Moriarty and Barclay was inspired. Such a good show, we had to do it. And according to Ronald D. Moore, the various nested universes in the episode confused even the staff, who ended up drawing diagrams during break sessions to keep track of it all. And I mean, it might seem like, oh, actually, it was quite straightforward and simple, and why were they so confused? But thinking about it, when you're shooting programs, you're not shooting the scenes in the order of what they're going to be shown, right?
Yeah.
So being that they're shooting things out of order and they know that there's 3 different realities to deal with, they were sort of all getting a bit confused, and there were all these like diagrams going up in break rooms and stuff, so everybody could keep track of what the hell was going on. So yeah, pretty cool.
Right then, have we got scores for the quiz?
Not quite yet. But
Okay.
What were your? Have you got any thoughts about the episode?
I've really enjoyed it, actually. I did like the fact that once you were in the holodeck, it didn't give any outside views of the Enterprise. I think that really did make it feel enclosed, like you were enclosed in the holodeck, and that was quite a clever trick. And
Yeah.
I like the subtle layering of it. I like bringing back a class character like Moriarty. It's just fun. Barclay, I mean, who doesn't like Barclay and Barclay episodes? He got used to great effect, I think, in this episode, like showing his skills, but also like making him once again the everyman in his disbelief at things, and like, what, how, what, why, when, where, and I thought even like the holodeck versions of the characters were good. They were saying all the sort of normal bland responses, just confirming everything without really going into any detail of anything. So I thought that was a good mix of, but nobody noticed. Like Picard and the rest didn't notice that people weren't quite right. But You know, I thought it was nice. When you look back at it, you're like, oh, yeah, there's just a sort of normal response. But yeah, that was a good, fun episode. Enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, Ruth says it's still fun even when you know the twist.
Yeah, because you're sort of working the twist out, aren't you? It's, yeah, because you got holodecks within holodecks. And yeah, it's fun.
Was that all of the bingo scores, Tabby?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly scattered things. I thought we'd
Yeah,
get
there seems to be a lot called. So yeah, never mind. So we have the scores then. In first place we have Ruth, woo, with 430 TNG review points.
With 10 points.
And 10 Bob points on the scoreboard. Next, 10 points behind Ruth, 10 TNG points behind Ruth, so not far, was me. So I get 9.
9.
Yeah.
But she won 91.
Next, with 370 TNG review points, is Tavikins. So 8 on the board for Tavi.
Oh.
Then next on the scoreboard is Stuplum with 320 TNG review points, so 7 points for Stuplum.
7.
And then next, so you and Joel were actually neck and neck up to that last question, because for every question that Joel didn't answer, you actually got it wrong.
Yeah.
So you were both on 110 until you got that last question right, which gave you an extra 120 points. So next is Montevan with 230 TNG review points. So that's 6 points on the scoreboard.
Okay.
And then finally, we've got Joel with 110 TNG review points and 5 points on the scoreboard.
Oh, I mean, he's all the way down there. That brings him up in the rankings for the year, for the season.
Yeah.
I think everybody else pretty much stays the same. But I will do a reshuffle anyway. And there you go. Joe's all the way up to there. He's nearly halfway, just behind Chris, KD Fitness there, and Smiler Rainbow. I see Stu Plum and myself are now even for third place. So Stu Plum joins me on the third run of the point scoring there. And
I'm only 1 point behind you.
And you're only 1 point, and there's only 2 points between Tavikins and Ruth for the top spot. So
it's all quite close.
Ruth is coming for you, Tavi. She's coming for you. There we go.
For me.
Yeah. Okay, so
Paddles at the ready.
Paddles.
We've got a score of 9 from Stuplum and 9 from Rufels.
It's high scoring. Okay, should we go 4? I should say which took me longer to work out which number to start on than I could have been the answer. 4, 3, 2, 1. I gone for infinite.
8, 7.
Infinite now, look. Infinite score. 8.
Pretty consistent score. 8, 8, 8, 7.
Right, so 8,
8,
8, 8, and 7 for
7.
Sean.
Yeah.
And
audience at the moment is 9.
9?
So
I think
it's
average.
Not enough data in this for me.
Not enough.
Maybe it's just that I know the twist.
I mean, that puts it at the third best episode of the season, behind A Fistful of Datas and Chain of Command Part 2. And just in front of Chain of Command Part 1.
And I can see why people put 9, because, you know, it is a really good episode. There's nothing really to sort of fault about it or anything like that. But I just, you know, it's not quite panty-droppingly amazing. You know, it didn't give me goosebumps. It's not epic enough quite for me to sort of push it up to a 9.
It's just a solid.
But it's still a very, very good episode. Thoroughly enjoyable. Great, extras and stuff, and or what do you call them, guest appearances. Yeah.
I will say it's only the second time the audience has given a 9. The last time was Iborg.
Wow.
They gave Iborg a 9, and they gave Inner Light a 10. So it's the joint highest score that the audience has ever given.
Nice.
Wookiee's giving it an 8, but even if you average that out with 2 9s, it's still a 9.
Still 9.
So, a 9 holds.
The 9 is holding steady. He gives a plus 15 for the hot red head.
Is that Stephanie Beecham?
Yeah,
Meaning you.
I think it's me.
Oh, right. Okay.
If it was the big head, it would be Sean, but it's the red head. That's me and my newly formed red complexion. I'm feeling. I will say. I'll give you the debrief from like the post episode.
Your experience.
My experience. I will say that there's lots of not nice things going on in my stomach right now, where 3/4 of a bar of that hot chocolate and white wine is currently mingling, and it doesn't feel good. I will say it doesn't feel the best.
It's the part when you tingle when you pee later. That's the part that really confuses me.
You're gonna taste it on the way out.
Are you going to have an interesting night's sleep tonight?
Yes. Yeah, I think I might. Yeah. Just to let you guys know, just to remind people that might have joined late or got lost in the when I had a power cut, but please remember that we've got the Monty Zone on Friday, 8 o'clock, and G Star's coming round here, and we're going to try the whole plugging into my sound desk and streaming in one room and see if that works, see if we can get that to work. So yeah, how we do the sharing of pictures and videos and things, that might be interesting. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll see if I can get G Star to try some of this chili chocolate and see what he thinks of it. So yeah, join us at 8 o'clock on
says
Friday.
we need to wish her luck for having to sleep in a bed with you.
Yeah, good luck, Smiler. I feel for you. I feel for you, my love. And if you're not fed up with me, then please feel free to come over to the Monty Band channel for tomorrow evening, and I'm going to be playing computer games with my friends Crystal, Karen, and Mickey. So if you want to come over to the Monty Zone tomorrow night and watch me fail miserably at Fortnite, please feel free to do that.
Well, I was watching you playing Fortnite last week, and I think I was the only person watching, and you got a, what do you call it, a Grand Royale?
I got a victory royale. I did. It was my...
I was the only one there to witness it.
I know, that's right. Oh yeah, Tabby was there as well. Yeah, it's funny. Of all the times I finally get a solo victory royale by myself, and it happens that Sean and Tabby were watching at the time. I was so pleased. I was so pleased I had a witness. That's not normal. That doesn't happen very often. But yes, so yeah, join us for that. So yeah,
Maj Ram, Steve.
Maj Ram. So there we go. That was our episode. How did you find it, guys? Sorry about the whole debacle of. And I've finally got my internet sorted out as well, so I've got slightly better internet tonight than I've got usually. I wondered if it was a problem to begin with. I even upped the output resolution of the stream to 1080. So for the first time, we're streaming in 1080 rather than 720. Just because I've got a bit more on the upstream now, so I figured, hey, let's just go all fancy.
Fancy.
Oh, Wookie said yes. It actually looks a lot better. Well, a little bit better internet, so I thought, well, go crazy, you know. And yeah, so
of course the irony is, yeah, even though you upped your internet, we still had a connection issue. Although it was power related.
Yeah, it was power related. But I have been worried all day because my computer's been doing odd things. My screen keeps turning off and the computer keeps going all funny. So I was worried that during the stream that I might get some monitor issues and things, but I don't know. I think I've got to take. I've got it. It's been there and literally on all day, every day for like 3 years now. I think I've got to like take the thing out and.
Yeah, I think you need to blow some air through it and reseat everything. Just plug it back in. Just reconnect the.
I wouldn't
connectors.
dare do that.
I take it Smiler told you that I had a power cut here too. I mean, we don't live very far away from each other, do we?
What, this evening?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Well,
yeah.
It was more of a brownout for Maz, just her lights flickered.
Yeah, all the lights went off, and I was like, "Ooh!" And then they came back on again, and then my thing was going round, and I thought I had just had a hiccup, but then when I saw then on the YouTube it started going round in circles, I was like, "Oh, it's not just me then," but yeah. So it was the whole sort of Crown Hill, Darrowford area, probably.
That makes sense then. Because it was a blip for the rest of the house.
Something to do with your electrics. It's not. It was a
Plymouth wide kind of North Plymouth wide thing.
Yeah, you had your stream on, your dishwasher on, a few other things, so it just blew your breakers.
Wookie says that.
Yeah, my what do you call it? Fuse didn't blow, so mine just popped straight back on.
Yeah, my downstairs circuit
more
blew.
Things going on, didn't you?
Yeah, especially in this room. I've got quite a lot coming through this room.
And the kitchen right next door to that room.
Yeah, that's right. Wookie said there'll be air blowing tonight. Talking about air blowing air through my computer. Yeah.
Well, I think more the whatever that chili's going to do to you later.
Oh yeah.
What were you saying about bird noises, Tammy?
Huh?
You said something about bird noises, and you went woo woo, but I didn't hear what you were saying.
I have no recollection of what I was saying. Oh no, the whirring noise. I was saying the sounds. He's got so much going on in the background. It's probably actually whirring noises. Like you could hear just how much energy is being used. But
you can sometimes.
It's like the hum you get with the Enterprise. You get that background hum of the engines.
You do. Yeah.
That is a very soothing sound, by the way. I put that actually on once, and I blacked out sitting in my chair in front of my laptop.
Nice.
I often wondered whether to do it, and actually have it on in the background. Yeah, just have like Yeah,
you can get like ambient engineering or warp core sound 8 hours or something it's called.
Mm-hmm.
You get it on YouTube.
Yeah, you get like
gong, that kind of.
I don't know. You guys probably can't hear that, can you?
Between the different shows.
You guys can't hear that, can you?
Something sounded like static for a second there.
Hang on.
It didn't really sound like
I'll have to just the stream can hear it, but just so you can hear it, I'll have to just.
I was going to say I can always turn my sound up temporarily.
Hey, can you hear it now?
Yeah, Wookie likes it. Rainbow likes it.
Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear.
Oh yeah. The bridge is noise. Boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Such a nice sound.
Earphones up.
I wondered if that would be a good thing to have, but then I think probably on a stream it would just end up being annoying. Like
after 20 minutes, half an hour, if they're trying to listen to me ramble about something, then that'll get maybe you should leave it in. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think we'll go with that. I think with Star Trek it works because like each scene has got a different sound, and so they keep changing it.
And they're never more than 3 or 4 minutes in the one room.
No, if you have to sit in it for a long period of time, I imagine it would get irritating. Yeah. Anyway, so didn't do that. I've also done something different today. I've changed my sound setting slightly so that it captures less. So there's more dead noise when I'm not speaking. So it catches less of my sort of my wheezing and stuff from my asthma and stuff like that. So and less of my computer noises whirring and all that. Yeah, that sort of thing. So I don't know if anybody noticed that there was less of me grunting and moaning and slurping and.
Well, no, because you having the chili chocolate and the extra coughing and stuff that ensued probably prohibited any difference. But yeah,
that's true. Yeah, so I changed up a few things for this stream just to change things up a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, there we go. So yes. Oh, and I brought something down as well to show Wookie. I thought if we got time at the end, I'll do a bit of an unboxing. Only because I just recently found this in my. It's non-Star Trek related, by the way. I'm going off topic. But I found in my garage my old Knight Rider radio controlled car.
Nice.
And I just thought that's the sort of thing that Wookie might appreciate. So
I appreciate it.
I
remember what like
get it out.
Do you remember what the lower version of Knight Rider of Kit was called?
Yes, car. Yeah, car.
Car. I just love it.
Yeah.
So stupid.
He was kind of silver along the bottom, and yeah.
It's so awesome. Man, we loved that show when we were growing up. Oh my goodness. Knight Rider was the coolest.
Yeah.
Do you know the guy who did the voice
got the
was
purple iridescence on it.
Yeah, I don't think it's got any batteries in it.
It has. They would have leaked out a long time ago, right?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think I'd have to put some batteries in it to get it to actually go whoosh, 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 whoosh. But
tell Smiler what batteries you need. Maybe she can source some.
Yeah, because it does do the whole whoosh, 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 and the lights and that come on. But yeah, there's my
hanging
old.
Off the back.
My old Knight.
Hanging off the back.
Well, it's a radio controlled car, so.
Oh, right, okay.
It's got an aerial that sort of plugs into it.
It's pre-digital.
Yeah.
The modern ones, you wouldn't really need an aerial over the.
No, it's got like an aerial that sticks out of it. I was thinking about cutting that off because I don't actually use it as a radio control car. I got it down. I brought it down because I thought, one, I'll show Wookie, and two, I think I might just put it on the shelf, like under my my monitor there, and have.
Well, Kit. It has a nice reflective.
It looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean,
it'd look well under the lights because it's reflecting all the different colors.
Yeah.
So
yeah, thought I.
Very nice.
Smiler Rainbow's just appeared with some. I don't know what type. No, I need a screwdriver and all sorts to get the cap off. So don't worry about it.
Next show.
Next show, I'll have it going whoosh whoosh in the background for you. There you go.
Yeah. You've showed the transporter before on here, haven't you?
No, I don't think so. No, that'll be for another. I did actually find that in my garage as well. But...
So our friend Gordon sent me a little video of the transporter of somebody using it, saying, "Oh, look at the cool toys we had. You put the thing in, and they disappear." And I was like, "Monteban's got that."
Look at Sean. Look, Sean's hanging out of his ass. Look, he's just barely.
I had to get up at 5:30 for work, but the thing is, I had
barely hanging on in there.
4, so I've been awake since 4.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah,
well, we'll finish now. We'll finish now. Actually, that transporter toy. I think I have 3 of them up in the loft.
The one where it kind of disappears with the light.
Yeah,
I have one of those.
I'll bring one down. I'll bring one down for another, and we'll put a figure in it and make it beam back in again.
Yay!
All right. Well, thank you to my co-hosts, Mazim Bob, Tavykins Turner, and Chief Sean, who's been giving me kind of motion sickness.
Before we go, I just want to say hello and well done to little Monty McCoy, number 1, on her GCSEs results. Amazing. A's and B's all round. And also my little Ukrainian A for her in her early GCSE. She did as well.
2 years early. She got her first A. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad. Very good. Very good. Yes, congratulations to all those guys and everyone else got their GCSEs last week, and well done. Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased. And yeah, Santa starts work next week. Crazy.
Working with her daddy.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep. She's coming to work with me. So yes, it's all very exciting. Yes, and thank you.
You can carry on saying your goodbyes now.
Yes, thank you to everyone in live chat. Thank you to Wookie and my Wrench Smiler Rainbow. Thank you to Joel for coming along. We haven't seen you in a while. It's been great to have you here. To the lovely Ruth Bryce, who's always around and is... was she hanging on to her top spot or closing in on Tavikins? I can't remember which was top.
Closing in.
Closing
So
in.
2 points in it.
There's only 2 points in it, so she's doing really well in the competition this season.
Aquil next week, not a great one, but you know,
No.
it could be a great one for Ruth. We'll see. It's her birthday
We'll
week.
see. Yeah, birthday girl. Thank you to Mr. Tavikins and Stuplum. How could I have forgotten Stuplum?
Did you do G-Star?
And G-Star. No, we'll be seeing him on Friday. And I think that's probably about it. Thank you everyone for joining and sticking with us with our difficulties this evening. And we will see you next Wednesday for another TNG review show. Cheers.